Capital News tonight. President Magufuli gives Minister Kigwangala and Permanent Secretary Mkenda 5 days to resolve the differences or be dismissed. Over 648 train passengers stranded in Dodoma. And in sports, defending champions Simba end year on a high with a 2-0 win against Ndanda FC. Good evening. This is Capital News at 9:30. I'm Vanessa Victor. Let's start things off with the national news. The President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, has given 5 days to the Minister of Natural Resources and Tourism, Dr. Hamis Kigwangala, and the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Professor Adolf Faustin Mkenda, to resolve their differences, or else he will revoke their appointments. President Magufuli gave the directive today when speaking to wildlife conservation officers and rangers of Rubondo Island National Park while touring the various tourist attractions there.
Because the power you exercise is with you wherever you go. You've praised work done by the board, therefore the board carries on as of today. General Waitara is doing an excellent job. You've now become a real army, and you will not only address poaching, but anything that is a security threat to our country. We understand that your desire in visiting us is to promote us, so as it is known locally and internationally, your coming will further strengthen our efforts. In the 4 years since you came to power, you've increased the number from 16 to 22 reserves, a success not achieved by any government. We commend you.
Over 648 passengers that were traveling with the Tanzania Railway Corporation train Deluxe from Kigoma to Dar es Salaam have been stranded at the Dodoma station due to ongoing rains that caused some of the railway tracks to get flooded and thus become impassable.
We arrived at 4, but we were told that there was a lot of water, so there's going to be a delay. This has affected me so much because my child is ill. We are prepared to provide our passengers with alternative means of transport.
The police's Illegal Drug Prevention Division has apprehended 11 people, including Nigerian and Gambian nationals, alleged to be involved in a drug trafficking ring, whereby, after being searched, they were found with 327.44 grams of methamphetamine and 997.91 grams of heroin.
Tulipowahoji huyu bwana Honest Cosmas Dismas na huyu raia wa Nigeria Ogochukwu Solomon Ezena.
After further questioning, we were able to unmask their web, and on 20th December this year at 1 p.m., a third suspect was arrested. When he was searched, illegal drugs were found on him. The amount wasn't much, so he must have been supplied by someone else. Anyone who wants to play music must go to a club or any such places where loud music is played, and we shall provide security. Disco Toto is not allowed. No permission has been sought. Parents must closely watch their children.
The Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Philip Mpango, has said that the government will continue to seek out and investigate all economic saboteurs that are making and distributing counterfeit notes and take action against them according to the 1984 Economic Sabotage Law.
Recently, there has been numerous cases whereby peace and security organs have arrested suspects believed to be involved in money counterfeit business. This is a serious crime. The general public is advised to be extra cautious when handling cash. So far, 50 institutions have not paid their contribution to the government. Therefore, I ask board chairpersons, members of the board, and heads of institutions to act on Honorable President's orders on specified time.
Hilo ni kosa la tofauti.
This is a different crime, and legal measures are being applied to ensure such activities do not occur.
Kujihusisha na hizo.
Some residents of Kipika, Betelemi and Matarawe in Mbinga City Council, Ruvuma region, have complained of deterioration of roadside drains, which has led to large holes that endanger the lives of the public, including children, especially now with the ongoing rains.
There are young children who play here, and not just small children, but adults could also be affected, as there is a lot of water that flows here. The potholes are returning. Our request is if the government could help us fix this road.
Engineering Company Limited.
The contractor who did this job is from Tanzania. The state of the road is as a result of heavy rains. However, a request for more funding has been made so this road could be repaired.
Tayari nimeshawasilisha mapendekezo ya kurekebisha ule mtaro.
The money holder from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East Africa Cooperation, Athanas Madebe, has been taken before Kisutu Resident Magistrate Court to face 15 charges, including causing the government loss of $472,684. Madebe's charges were read to him before Senior Magistrate Rashid Chaungu by Senior Public Prosecutor Wankio Simon, aided by Amiko Mlekano and Elia Athanas, who claimed that the accused is believed to have committed the crimes he was being charged for between October 1st and December the 31st of 2016 at the Tanzanian embassy in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The accused was not required to answer to the charges as the case has no bail, and the prosecution claimed that investigations into the case have not been completed yet. Thus, the case has been adjourned until January the 14th, when it will come up for another mention. 35 wards in Gundusina village, Hedaru Ward, Same district, Kilimanjaro region that were engaged in horticulture next to Lungwana Nguruna forest have expressed concern after being told to halt all farming activities in the 106-acre area in order to conserve the forest.
Nikalima, tukaja kulima eneo hili.
Farmed this land, but later I was taken to the police station, but I was released. We've gone through so much, and we asked the minister with the mandate to come to our assistance.
Kwa kweli katika maeneo haya sisi tumeathirika sana, hasa sisi wanawake.
We've been affected a lot because our men have been locked up. Some of us now have no food because land was taken from us. This issue is still being looked into. I was notified last week, and to meet with both parties, it is vital to have a discussion with either sides. I urge those affected that this matter is being addressed and they will be advised accordingly.
The government has refuted spreading reports on social media that the remains of Rhino Faster, who passed recently at over 50 years, have been divided and turned into food, stating that the government is only preparing procedures to embalm her so the body can remain in the National Museum to help promote tourism.
No meat will be distributed from the carcass, but rather processes are underway to establish the cause of death. However, the meat will be served to other wildlife. There will be 4 task forces stationed to address any incidents that may arise. This particular rhino attracted a lot of tourists, and it is only right that he is preserved as part of tourist attraction.
Lack of combined strategies in districts surrounding Mtera Dam and stopping illegal fishing has been listed as one of the reasons that has led to its continued occurrence, with illegal fishermen moving from areas where confiscation of illegal net exercises occurs to places where the operation is not being conducted.
This lorry will now be confiscated so that something like this doesn't happen again in future. It has been difficult to control illegal fishing because once we control it here, they simply move to another area that is not under our control.
And that is all for national news. International news is next. In international news, the Director of Public Prosecutions in Kenya, Nurdin Haji, has welcomed a decision by the appeals courts in the country preventing governors dealing with corruption cases to return to office until the cases have been heard and completed.
Jameni, kama governor ameiba, si lazima atoke ofisini.
A governor has stolen from the government. Must he not resign? If it is corruption, then he must pay bail. We are confident from the way the court is handling this case.
Governor Lenkolul na Governor Waititu na Court of Appeal imesema ya kwamba watakaa nje.
The state of concern is heightened in northern parts of Kenya after desert locusts invaded saplings in the area on Sunday. Residents have expressed concern while leaders and experts have pledged to set strategies in place to deal with the situation.
The locust invasion has been with us.
Imagine the threat of locusts. We are speaking with all relevant authorities so that there is financial assistance to deal with the locusts.
Imagine threat from...
We want to appeal to the international community, AU and the United Nations to help us address this problem.
The United Nations has sent more troops to patrol Bangui in the Central African Republic after fighting broke out between armed men and market traders earlier today over a dispute about money, with youth groups giving the armed men a deadline to hand in their weapons. And that's where we leave off with international news. We go for a short break and we'll be back with business news.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back and on to business news. 11 entrepreneurial groups for people with disabilities and children living in difficult environments have benefited from a 105 million shilling loan given by Dodoma City Council in Songwe, with the government revealing increased challenges in repayment of these loans due to some of the beneficiaries' failure to understand how to accurately use the funds.
Hapa hundi ya milioni 105.
We've handed over a check worth 105 million for women, the youth, and people living with disability, so it can help boost their business. But we've also remembered children living in hardship who have received school supplies as well as food. The loan is supposed to be paid within 12 months. But there are groups that have done exceedingly well and deserve to be considered for future loans, although some groups have failed to pay back the loan and have been taken to court.
Village, ward and suburb officials in Igunga District Council, Tabora region have complained of the actions of some village government leaders and councillors preventing residents in participating in group development activities, as well as convincing them not to implement the legal directive to remove cotton trees that have already been harvested. From this, it has led to a drop in the amount of crop produced.
Honorable Regional Commissioner, the cotton must be uprooted in addition to arresting those involved. They plan behind our backs on how to cause chaos, and they've been warned on numerous occasions. We despise them, and we have the names.
That's all for business news. Sports is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose to Lend.
And in sports news, the defending champions Simba Sports Club have finished the year strong after attaining a 2-0 win against Ndanda FC at the National Stadium in Dar es Salaam. The Msimbazi team had their goals in both halves of the match, with Francis Kahata and Derek Kanda getting on the score sheet. And Young Africans Yanga SC have officially signed Yikpe Ghislaine Namien from Gor Mahia. Here is more.
The Ivorian striker had skipped training with the Kenyan champions owing to unpaid salaries, and he was later confirmed holding talks with the Tanzanian Giants over a possible move. Yanga have now confirmed the arrival of the striker, who will wear jersey number 9 and has penned a 2-year contract. On his part, Yekpe promised to help the club to chase for the targets they had set for the season.
Jorginho has called on his Chelsea teammates to rediscover their aggression after overcoming a poor first half to win 2-1 away at Arsenal and tailing off an inconsistent December run.
Frank Lampard's side struggled as they went 1-0 down to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's header at the Emirates Stadium, but ultimately turned the game around to defeat the London rivals. Blues vice-captain Jorginho was brought on in a desperate 34th minute substitution, with the West Londoners having been under intense pressure early on in the match. Chelsea looked set to fall to 6th defeat in 8 matches, but produced their first comeback points in the Premier League this season with 2 late goals. Tammy Abraham was the match winner, but Jorginho's tap-in after a Ben Leno mistake got a vital equalizer in the 82nd minute.
Robert Moreno wants to put his departure as Spain boss and subsequent fallout with Luis Enrique behind him after being unveiled as the new head coach of League One side Monaco.
42-year-old served as an assistant for La Roja until Luis Enrique stepped down in June to care for his young daughter Jana, who died in August following a battle with bone cancer. Moreno took charge permanently at the point and oversaw Spain's qualification for Euro 2020. But Luis Enrique returned in November and did not appoint his former deputy to his staff due to an apparent disagreement. The former Barcelona boss accused Moreno of being disloyal last month, claims that letter described as ugly and unfair.
Manchester United legend Wayne Rooney is ready to make a playing return in English football, with the Derby coach having no plans to retire anytime soon.
England's all-time leading goal scorer has been working with the Rams behind the scenes since his contract at MLS side DC United came to a close. He's had to wait until January before getting back out on the field, with a frustrating spell watching on from the sidelines taken in by the former Everton and United star. Rooney is now raring to go, heading towards a meeting with Barnsley on Thursday, and he believes he still has plenty to offer.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. But with just a few hours left before we welcome 2020, the management of IPP Group of Companies and all of its employees would like to wish you all Tanzanians a safe and happy entry into the new year. My name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching and have a good night.